It's Ring Raps. We've got the juggernaut, Mr. Joyce in the building. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
The technicals get to me, man. The technicals. I don't like.
Yeah, I know. Because I kept on entering the password, but actually, first time I have to hold my hands up. I had it on caps lock.
Yeah.
Like the first time when I was trying to enter the password to get into the meeting and that. So, but then the second time it wasn't working. But I don't know.
Nah, never mind.
Third time we got in there.
Third time's the charm, innit? How's the pandemic lockdown been for you? How's training been going?
Yeah, it's been all right. I've just been ticking over since I had to travel back from Vegas early, cut my training camp short, and then so I've just been, I don't know, I've just been like chilling out. I've been doing a bit of running, bit of cycling, stuff like that. And,
when you say a bit of running, a bit of cycling, can you go into a bit more detail? Like what would be a light run for you?
Like 3 miles or something. I can literally just leave my house and there's like fields and stuff just over there, so I can run for however long I want. And I've been doing cycling as well, but from like 2 weeks ago or so, I've started again with like the boxing kind of training, doing more strength stuff, weight training, and actually over the when the quarantine period, I was doing a bit of like kettlebells and a little bit of light weights what I've got in my house, like, you know what I mean. But I haven't really had a chance to hit a bag. I haven't got any of that equipment yet.
When you say you left Vegas, where do you train out in Vegas when you're out there?
Okay, so first we were training in Linares' gym, but then he sold that off, and then Salas opened his gym like literally across the way, on the other side, and I started that gym. So I was training there for like the boxing training, and then also I had a great opportunity to use the UFC facility. So that's where I do like my strength training, which is cool.
Obviously, for some people might not know. I mean, I was rewatching some of your stuff recently, and I saw you doing all the acrobatics and the capoeira stuff when you was in Rio.
Yeah.
For the people that might not know your background, do you have actually any mixed martial art background, or is it just something you've added to your repertoire? Like you're an all-round kind of fitness guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then before I went to my graduation ceremony, I already had flights booked to Shaolin Temple. Well, I went to China and trained for 2 months with the Shaolin monks. Oh, seriously? Wait, before uni, sorry, I was doing capoeira for a year as well.
Wow. So wait, you've been to the Shaolin Temple?
Yeah, I've been to have a look around. I didn't actually train there, but I trained in like a Shaolin school where you train like 4 times a day. You have to wake up 5 o'clock to get in line for like 5:30, and then you all go in groups. Like obviously the Chinese students would like, they'd have like a boarding school, but instead of doing sports, you're doing like martial arts 4 times a day. it was serious, but it got me prepared for being on the GB team, because we have like 3. Well, we did 4 sessions sometimes, but mainly 3.
Wow, that's crazy, man. So
that full session is just a killer, man. Like it's like there's no point.
Yeah, nah. So you've always, like, without stating the obvious, you've always been deeply involved in fitness on multiple levels and fighting on all different paths. So obviously we know what you've done. You had an amazing amateur career, done amazing in the Olympics, and now we fast forward to 2020, which has been a complete wipeout of a year as far as the roster's concerned. But we look like we're getting back on the page with you and Mr. Dubois.
Yeah, so it's been rescheduled. Date for August. I mean, sorry, October 25th.
Get that right, Joe. All right.
Um,
So is that a tentative date, or as far as you know from Frank, is that looking like a solid date?
yeah, it's looking like a solid date. I mean, third time lucky, hopefully, and
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any more cases here.
To be honest, with the whole Corona thing, I take it with a pinch of salt in the sense that things change hourly, daily, weekly. So you've got to just kind of focus now on dates and try and have some program back. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to just
Yeah.
hope for the best at this point. It must be frustrating for you. As you said, you came back from America. Was that when you knew things were going to start getting like locked down? So you thought, I better get back to UK?
Yeah, so we found like we didn't really. We was in the kind of like we was in kind of like a bowl. We didn't really like. We heard the stuff from that was going on back home, but it wasn't till like we went out for food and that, and it was like it wasn't that busy, and like then we thought, oh, okay, something's starting to happen. Like,
Yeah.
and then we found out the last flights would be on the Tuesday, so um, so one of my managers, Adam, had to quickly book us flights to come back. Otherwise, we would have been stuck out there.
Well, there's worse places to be stuck, but yeah, you want to be with family when things like this are going on.
Yeah,
How, how's
and it's lucky that because I was thinking like the fight might not be rescheduled till like next year. I thought like the whole of boxing like with a crowd would be a write-off for this year. So
yeah.
I was quite surprised when the new date got changed to July. I mean to I don't what's going on? I mean October.
Don't worry. I'm sure Frank will give you a call or Sam will give you a call and let you know what date it is.
Yeah.
Tell me when are you thinking about getting into proper camp then?
Well, I'm in proper camp.
Oh, so that's it now. All systems go, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how's camp started? How's it going? How's it getting sparring partners and stuff?
Yeah, it's good. I did a bit of sparring yesterday. Did like 6 rounds.
Oh, cool. Where are you based at the minute, Joe? Where do you do your camp?
I'm based in the UK, obviously, but in Surrey. Like,
Okay.
I live in Surrey, and yeah, I'm just training near here.
Are you able to get the quality of sparring that you want in these kind of testing times?
Yeah, there's a good sparring partner who we've got. This, is gonna give me the work and knock the ring rust off and stuff. So it's been good, and I'm fortunate that I've access to a couple of gyms where there's like they're like private gyms. So yeah. So,
How do you feel? Obviously, when you've got opponent and a bout scheduled in, and you're actually in fight camp like you are now, are you the kind of fighter that likes to stick in one zone and one gym and create a little bubble, or do you not mind moving around with your trainer and doing different things?
No, I like to have a routine going and have my schedule sorted out, so I know when I'm training, and then I can just get into a routine, and then I don't even have to. I don't have to even think about what I'm doing. I just do it on autopilot because I get into a routine. I get used to it, and that's it. That's the way I like to work. It's quite methodical, but it works for me.
Cool. So, what's your average week breakdown out of 7 days? How often are you training?
Like 6 days, Sunday off. Yeah.
Wow. And out of the 6 days, is it sparring every other day or sparring every day?
3 times a week.
Okay, cool.
And the rest are filled with like strength training and technical work.
And with your team, how many people are you working with regarding head coach, conditioning coaches?
Like, well, 2 people, yeah, right now.
Are they the same? Have you got the same team that you would have had out in the States now in UK?
Nah, but when we can travel back to Vegas and especially I don't know, maybe try and get Salas down or go and see or go and do this training camp in Vegas to get prepared for Dubois. But right now I have a couple of coaches here who are actually Cam came with us to Vegas, and I've also got Steve doing pads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been in camp for this rescheduled fight?
I started like two weeks ago, but I've been ticking over anyway. But officially, I've started camp.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah. You're clearly a full-time fitness guy as well, which is
a full-time athlete. Yeah,
that's good, man. That's
This is
good.
the business that I'm in, so I'm an athlete, and
Well, Joe, you say
this
that.
is what I do as my job. I train and I compete. I
Yeah.
punch people up for a living as an entertainer. What do you want from me?
Joe, do you know, that's funny, but you'd be surprised. You say it as it's a formality, but without saying any names, there's so many athletes in this game that don't take it seriously. So I'm glad you do. You know, I don't have to say any names. Even heavyweights, we know who I could be talking about. So, you know, I'm glad you're double serious. That's good. That's good. I like that. Punch people.
Let's hear the gossip then. Who you got?
No gossip. It's out there. You only have to look at when people get on the weighing scales, and it's clear for the eyes to see, right?
Yeah.
You know, certain contenders who've been getting high-profile fights and stuff. So, you know, well, props to you.
Say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, well, yeah. Say no more. We haven't got to worry about Joyce coming in overweight. It'll be tip-top. Tip-top. So, Joe, you mentioned some of your previous there, and the competition you was in a few years back, and you were in a fight with Usyk.
Yeah.
And I've watched that fight back a few times, man. It's an interesting fight. It's a few years ago for people that don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it makes me cringe every time I watch it. Like,
why'd you say that, Joe? I don't know, man. I take good things. I take positives out of that fight when I watch it back, man.
Yeah, I don't think I was mature enough as a fighter, like as in technique wise. I hadn't really been doing boxing for that long, and to fight like a gold medalist from London. But yeah, I gave him his best fight in WSB.
Yeah, you did.
By sheer work rate, grit, and determination. But
in WSB, Joe, what was the weight limit for heavyweights? Is it the same as in the pros?
So what they did for that season, as you say, they had only 5 weights, but then they're like catch weights. So super heavy and heavy would be one, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, you've grown as you've got older and you've done more strengthening and conditioning, but you looked a tiny bit smaller there as well, a tiny bit. Because you were younger,
I was lighter. I think I've just steadily gone up slowly as I've got older. Like I think I started about like the lightest weight I was like 95 kilo.
Okay.
And now I'm like 125 or something kilos.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So yeah, over the years I've gone up. Probably at that time I was probably like 111 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel Alexander Usyk can fare with the big boys, so to speak?
I think he could. Like I saw him in WSB, he dealt with some good fighters at that catch weight, and you know, he's like Lomachenko's had like I don't know what 300 or amateur fights, so he's well seasoned, and it'll make short work of most. But then obviously at pro, you're doing 12 rounds, and you've got smaller gloves, and Usyk looks like he's got bigger, but it might have made him a bit slower. So
yeah,
maybe that might have an effect. But I rate him, and we'll just see how he fares with who's he got. Is it Chisora? No,
yes.
I mean
Chisora. I don't think we have a date yet, but it's on the horizon to be rescheduled. Derek's no joke. I mean, especially Derek Mark II. So how do you feel he shapes up against a fighting fit Chisora?
Well, as you saw him fight Gassiev, who's a big puncher,
Yeah.
he managed to like dance around him all fight and then get the win like that. So he can do the same with Chisora.
Obviously Guido from any the Italian fighter. He's also looked after by Sam, right?
Yeah.
He told me when he was training up at Big Bear, he said that Gassiev's the hardest puncher he's ever come across.
I'm not surprised. Amount of mad training, you have to be a tough bastard to survive up in Big Bear.
Sanchez doesn't pull any punches.
Nah. He makes a tough, hard, durable tank. He turns you into a tank, basically.
Cynthia Conte from Ring, she was saying that Abel Sanchez has these kind of self-designed like prototype equipments that are there for like strengthening stuff. She couldn't quite explain what it was, but maybe you can share something. She says he's got some kind of like customized equipment in there that's purely for strengthening.
Yeah, he does. He has his methods. He has a blueprint or formula to train fighters, and it gets the results.
Did you in your time up there, did you ever come across Gassiev, or was he not there at that point?
No, I think he was out because of injury at that point. But I did the training camp with Triple G when he was training for his first fight, second fight,
second Canelo fight.
Yeah, second Canelo fight.
Did you ever spar with Triple G?
He's like, "Hey Joe, I have I have a present for you," and he'll come back with like a kettlebell or something. Like, oh no, not. And like do training stuff.
Did Abel Sanchez used to do mixed weight sparring where he'd throw people of different weights in together?
Nah. Well, I mean, I sparred with Arson Feroz, who's like a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
And he's strong AF.
Do you not find it strange that that's two cruisers now that we're saying hit hard enough to get heavyweight respect?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you've seen people like David Haye before, and Evander Holyfield made the step up comfortably, but for Guido to say Gassiev's the hardest puncher he's hit, and he trains with Parker, Fury. Have you trained with Guido yourself? Have you done rounds together?
Yeah, me and Guido were with Abel Sanchez in Big Bear, and then Tyson Fury came along and he spent 2 weeks out. We sparred for like 2 weeks out there before we went down to the wildcard gym.
So
I've spent a lot of time sparring with Guido. Even the last camp in Vegas, I was sparring with Guido as well. He's a great fighter.
Yeah, he's a nice guy as well.
One to watch out for in the future.
So if we tie the kind of what comparison you made when you said Usyk could run rings around Gassiev and he could potentially do the same thing to Derek Chisora. So let's say Usyk comes through Chisora. Who's his next? Who's the biggest challenge out there for Usyk, or who can Usyk give the most problems to out of the top guys, in your opinion? Because you're the only current top heavyweight that's fought him.
Or out of
AJ, Fury, Wilder, Dillian White, out of any of the guys in the top rankings.
Out of those four, yeah. What about Wilder?
Yeah, Wilder. I said Wilder. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said Wilder. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he could get past Chisora.
Because a lot of people think when it was first announced, obviously it got pushed back because of the pandemic. A lot of people were kind of assuming he just gets past Chisora. but I wasn't one of those people. As much as I rate Usyk, it's a big assumption to say he's just going to step up and sweep aside a really, heavy handful of a heavyweight.
Yeah, because he's got to go through them trenches into the deeper rounds. If he can't knock, if he's not going to knock Chisora out, Chisora's going to still be swinging to the end, and it only takes one punch at heavyweight, and but he's a very smart fighter, and you've seen the way he trains, and does all handstands, juggling, and does like mad like mental games and stuff. Yeah. So he's going to have a game plan going in, how he's going to beat him. So we'll just have to see, but I think it'll be a good fight.
Talking of good fights, Joe, let's come back quickly to yourself and Dubois. I'm not going to ask a silly question of what's the game plan. I'm just going to ask you what your gut feeling is about the fight. In a sense, not who's going to win or lose. Obviously, you're going to tell me you're going to win. I know that, and I expect you to say that. But I'm saying, is it going to be a trenches fight, or is it going to be a quick knockout? What do you think?
Well, I don't want it to be a quick knockout because I'll be probably on the receiving end. So, what I mean? But it's going to be a tough fight, and he's going to be throwing some bombs, and we're going to be throwing bombs at each other. It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be the toughest fight in my career to date, and it's one that I need to win to step up and challenge for a world title. So he's standing in my way right now. So I need to get him out of my way, but not juggernaut through him, over him, whatever.
You're very, as we've already discussed at length, you're very fit, and you're a serious athlete. So it's no question you're ready to go 10, 12, however many rounds as needed, right? I know that. Anyone that watches you fight knows that you don't go away. So obviously you said Daniel's going to be throwing bombs, right? I suspect you're going to be throwing some bombs of your own as well. And for me, it's an impossible fight to call. I'll be honest. It's a great 50-50 fight, which is why
that's why everyone wants to see it. And,
yes.
It's doing the numbers, so it's one that's it's going to be like it's going to be one of them big fights, isn't it?
Let's say it is a British classic. Let's say it's a proper dust-up, yeah? But let's say whoever wins, let's say it goes 12 rounds and it's a really good fight. Could we run it again? I know we've got to get the first fight gone first, but I'm saying, could you see, even with the age difference, could you see a bit of a rivalry with you and Dubois?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, if the first fight's good, then people want to see the second fight. So, if it makes sense, then I'm happy to indulge it again. I don't know.
Okay. I know generally you guys are quite amicable. There was that little push and shove at the press conference. Was that strictly for the cameras, in your opinion?
Nah, Dubois is funny, man. He's serious to the end. Like that whole day, we packed the whole day of filming and that.
Yeah.
Including the press conference and stuff like that. And things got serious and that. But my man was carrying that on till the end of the day when we're just eating and then we was doing like more press, and I was just tired because we started that day at 5:30. I got up at 5:30, and like he was still like staring me out like serious. I was like, I couldn't take it seriously anymore. I couldn't have to laugh. He was doing like some filming where he had to do like 3 times. He had to do another head-to-head like for the cameras and stuff. I was like, the last one I was like, I can't believe this guy is still serious. No, I was tired, man.
That's funny. So when that push and shove came at what seemed to be the main presser, what time of the day was that roughly?
No, that was early on. That was probably like 12 o'clock, 12:30 or something.
Oh wow! So the benchmark got set early then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So you're saying even when the cameras were off, he was giving you stick and needle?
Well, it's a bit awkward because we're trying to avoid each other. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a bit awkward. Like, you
Like
don't wanna,
two
you don't
lions
really
stuck
want
in a
to
cage.
share the same space.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Two alpha males,
Yeah.
like two lions, trying stuck in the same cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, do you know what? Then, in that case, I'm really looking forward to the next set of press conferences, even if you aren't. So, Joe, it's been a very topsy-turvy, like 48 hours in the world of boxing, man. I'm just gonna throw a few things at you and see what your two pennies is.
See if I can catch them.
Yeah, well, I saw you. I saw your Insta story, and I saw you doing the Lomachenko Usyk tennis ball training with the hat.
Oh yeah.
You're really good at it, man. You're really good
I've
at
been
it.
doing it for time. I think I think obviously I don't know if Usyk started doing it first, and I saw Joe Cordina and Kezakshvak on the squad doing it. I was like, oh, and I asked Joe, he's like, yeah, you just make them, just get a bit of elastic, put a hole in a tennis ball and that. So I made one, and like since then I've just been using it. I think it was quite hard to like learn how to do it properly, but
Well, you definitely
once you
mastered
get
it,
the
man.
rhythm, then it's quite fun, and it's
It,
good to like kind of get your eye in for training because like your reflexes, it trains you like reflexes and stuff. So.
it looks like one of the most interesting techniques is when you when you slip it to make it go the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks exactly like slipping a punch.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's good training for that because you're going to punch, but punches are going to be coming back. So it's good to kind of get the time in and stuff like that.
You know, I was impressed, man. It looks like you've mastered it. So, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, let me throw something at you, man. I'll say two words: Jarrell Miller.
You know that emote. Like,
I know.
how
Yeah.
does he have to be caught doing like juicing up, man?
Yeah. It's not. Do you know what? Regardless of what everyone wants to say, and other people have been commenting on how it represents the sport on a wider scale, like.
And how did he only get 2 months?
Oh, has he been punished again already now?
Oh no! But I mean, before he only had 2 months or something.
I don't know, man. I'm no expert, but there was all technicalities. The fact that he wasn't licensed with any particular body or blah blah blah. But people are saying, how does it represent the sport? And for people like yourself who are serious athletes and have always been, above
it's dangerous. Board. It's not like 100 meters where you're just running to see who's the fastest. It's you're throwing punches, and it can be life changing. So it's
he's let himself down more than anyone, man. For me, he's let himself down.
I think he just can't help himself.
That's what Eddie alluded to. That Eddie Hearn alluded to that yesterday. He said he thinks he's got a kind of like psychological issue with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
But for me, I mean, look, whatever, man. Look, you can't tarnish one man with the problems of the whole sport. But the fact is, he is unfortunately now the flag bearer for dirty boxers. He's right up there. So when people think of boxing at the minute, they should be thinking about great fights and matchups and boxing coming back, and then wallop that just comes into the cycle.
Yeah, it just makes a bad name for the sport.
Yeah, it does. So there's been other things flying about. Obviously, I mentioned Dillian earlier, and it seems now that Dillian has finally pressed the issue to force his mandated fight next year with the WBC. Let's assume Fury Wilder goes down the same way as Fury Wilder 2 did for the trilogy. Let's just assume it does, just for the sake of this question. I spoke to Mark Tibbs the other day about Dillian potentially meeting Fury, or not if, but when they meet. And they say, all due respect to Fury, he's the king of the castle, but they say they've got a plan for him. But as a you know, as a participant in the heavyweight scene, how do you see a Dillian Whyte Tyson Fury matchup?
Yeah, another good fight. But I think style-wise, like, have you seen Tyson Fury Chisora?
Which one?
That's what I mean. Like, his styles make fights.
Yeah, no, he had a couple of
Has
fights
Dillian
which is already.
been like similar to like Chisora got the beating of Tyson Fury? Is what I'm saying.
You you think Dillian can make it interesting with taking Tyson into the trenches?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, yeah, if you know lands some good punches and that, it's heavyweight boxing. Like, anything can happen. And I'll be interested to see the press conferences for that fight.
Yeah, that will be a lot of jokes of going around online saying that's pay-per-view on its own.
Yeah. So, but we got to see Wilder. We got to see the Wilder Fury rematch, and then
What do you
the
think of that, Joe?
AJ Fury fight. So,
What do you think with what's your take on the trilogy
AJ
with Tyson and Wilder?
Pulev. Huh?
How do you feel the trilogy goes down with Tyson and Wilder?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Wilder might come with something different, some different game plan. Because I guess just waiting for the opportunity for the right hand hasn't really worked for him, and I guess he won't be wearing that big bronze bomber outfit this time round. So,
do you think the weight, Joe? Do you think the weight affected him because you know he came in his heaviest ever as well?
Yeah,
and he's not a big heavyweight. He's more an athletic, pumped up cruiserweight, right? Naturally, Wilder.
Yeah.
Because he normally comes in what 212, 215, and he came in like, was it high 20s or 230 or something this time?
Yeah, probably because like that first fight, he thought he'd stapled him to the ground like with that punch because he hit him with his hardest punch, and like because he didn't stay down, I guess maybe he might have like thought he wasn't punching hard enough or something, and then like worked on his power strength attributes to take him out to completely take him out this time round. Maybe that time round. I mean,
that could have been. I mean, Teddy Atlas was talking about the psychological thing going on in his mind about what you just said about putting on more weight to be stronger. But with Wilder, that's like a God-given born athletic power, man, that he's got. It's a fast twitch freak of nature power that he's got. You know, you can't.
I guess he'd have to be working on that as well. It can't. You know what I mean? That's probably the way he trains as well. That
you think he loads up a lot
those attributes.
So you think a lot of people have criticized from the sidelines with his training regime, saying that potentially it is kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of loading up going on in training as well.
Yeah, so
I mean, what could
something his team would have to look at and like aim to like maybe working on some of his weaknesses and try and bring up his.
Well, a lot of people were saying Corona could have worked for him because of the time delay, right? But then in the meantime, he's had surgery now on his bicep.
Oh, yeah?
He's had surgery, I believe. Either on, I don't know which arm it was, but I think he had surgery either on like one of his shoulder tendons or his bicep tendon.
Well, he must be all right. Have you seen him and his brother like shooting targets and that? I saw that this morning on like Instagram or something.
Well, look, you know, God willing, when everything goes right with surgery, you athletes, you recover with a good program, you recover good. So, and there's no doubt Deontay's an amazing athlete. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll probably only take a couple of months to like heal fully. So yeah, it'll be injury free when they. When's the fight been scheduled for?
Late October, November, even this, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there was a hypothetical date being floated around, but everything's tentative at the minute.
Yeah. How did he injure it? Was it in his fight or?
I think, yeah, I don't know if it was like I don't know if it was like an actual impact injury or if it's just something that's been ongoing and he's had a niggle with it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But you
Mm.
know yourself, you guys are always carrying some kind of niggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe a lot of people are saying with the corona, the extended break, it served him well because he can heal up.
Yeah.
So maybe something good came out of the pandemic lockdown for some fighters.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's positives and negatives with it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure, for sure. So obviously your rescheduled fight with Daniel Dubois is in October. Fingers crossed, potentially there could even be an audience at that fight
yeah.
if the
The way
pandemic.
things are going, it's like they seem to be like opening up more stuff. I noticed the pubs are open before the gyms. What?
Well,
And McDonald's, like what?
to be fair, I watch what I eat anyway, and but I've seen a lot of the pubs they were doing takeaway food or they were doing takeaway drinks in like in like milk bottles and stuff. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like, bring your own milk carton and you can take a beer away. All sorts. But who knows? Maybe they'll be
Yeah, people
serving,
businesses get real creative.
or maybe they'll be serving beer in milk cartons at the O2 if you lot end up there.
Yeah, maybe you just get like a long straw, and then like they're all like 2 meters apart, and then you just, and then like you put the
But the funny thing, what you just said, because the whole kind of hypocrisy of this social distancing, like someone told me yesterday, they went through all these checks at the airport, but then they got on a packed plane. So
I
like,
know, and then the aircon like circulates around the plane the
and
whole
then
flight.
so what you're saying about the straw, so I can imagine everyone having these long straws, but then all sharing out of the same fishbowl.
Backwash.
Joe, you're giving us some funny sound bites today, man. You're giving us some good sound bites. But so fingers crossed, there's a crowd when you fight Dubois, whether it's full capacity, 30% capacity, or whatever. Well, when people asked Eddie Hearn about his fight camp, about the background noise, right? And he said it works for football, but he said with the fighting, he wants to hear all the fuds and the trash talk in the ears and the corner talks. So obviously that kicks off beginning of August. Will you be interested to see how that kind of experimental audio works, where we'll be able to hear everything as the spectator?
I reckon they should do. I think they should do both. Like, I think we should have like a kind of like fake crowd sound going on at the same time, but then obviously you can hear like what the corner and that say like more clearly. So that might be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously over the years, HBO and ESPN.
Are they going to have ring card girls with masks on?
Yeah. I can see you thought this all through, Joe. I'm still getting over when you said you punch people up for a living.
It's not a bad job.
But that's an old school term, man. That was like a playground term. Shut up, I'll punch you up. That was like bully boy tactics.
Yeah, as you can see, I haven't grown up yet.
Do you know what? You see how Chisora has War Chisora, or it's War? You should have that, like a Facebook, I'll punch you up. I think you're missing a trick there, Joe.
Yeah. So
Joe,
get into...
Joe, I'll punch you up, Joyce. Joe, a.k.a. the Juggernaut, a.k.a. I'll punch you up.
Yeah, we're in bracket, like quotation marks or whatever.
Why not? That could be a good slogan. Get on the phone to Sam, make that happen, man. You don't need to, that's I like that. That's a good slogan. Well, look, Joe, man, it's been a good chat. It took us a while to get going with the technical issues of Zoom, but I appreciate your time and all the pep talk.
You got there in the end.
Yeah, we got there in the end, mate. We got there in the end. Just like boxing this year, it's going to get there in the end. So from Pep Talk UK, myself, Ring Raps, wishing you good luck with the new training camp, and hopefully the rest of 2020 can go to plan for yourself with all your fights, and we'll speak soon. Hopefully next time in person.
All right.
I'll bring my 2-meter straw.
Yeah, but
All
it
right,
has to be card. You can't have plastic.
no. Too many things to remember. Too many things to remember.
In America they still have plastic straws, like, and
Well,
bare plastic bags when you go to the shopping mall in the
well,
supermarket. Right.
we'll get there in the end. We'll get there in the end. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Juggernaut, thanks for your time.
All right.
And until the next time, don't punch anyone up unless it's in the ring.
Yeah, you know me.
All right, Joe, nice
Don't
one.
get paid don't get paid for that.
No. True words. All right, Joe, nice one.